Hello everyone and welcome back to the MAD campaign for the Apache and DCS world, and welcome to Mission 8, Ship Helicopter Qualification Part 3. But don't worry, this one's actually interesting. This one actually has some interesting stuff to do, finally. And so the briefing on this one is the last part of our qualification is we have to do an astern landing on a small destroyer, landing on the back of it. And there's very, very bad weather conditions, so as we'll see, that gets quite interesting. And then we do go on a patrol afterwards, but thankfully this time we do get called in to actually do something on the patrol. So let's jump in and see what interesting Apache missions look like again.
I'm Shaheen Oil Platform. By the way, this reminds me of the good old school trip days. This is Qatar soil. How did you get here? They sent us here for a familiarization flight. We were in Qatar on a guided tour for students. There are over 130 oil wells here, but the most interesting fact is them using supertankers as oil storage units. I believe we will keep these supertankers safe. Wind shear. Hold on, Salah. There will be turbulence. Damn wind shear. The helicopter's unstable. I don't doubt you, but be careful. You have this qualification, but running is our main task for today. Roger, Salah. Don't worry ahead of time.
So there is some chat on the way, but a lot of it is completely inaudible. A lot of it just gets overwritten by the default comms messages because all of the AI flights are on the same channel that you have to be tuned to, and so you just get talked over all the time, and the default comms are a lot louder than the recorded comms for the campaign, so I skipped over most of those there. They just were completely inaudible. The idea here is that we're coming in, we get the option to reject the landing if we don't feel like it, or we can go in despite the conditions. I decided to go in just to make sure that there was something interesting in the mission, and it's actually quite an interesting approach here. The ship is heading into the wind, but it is a lot of wind. There are a lot of gusts that come up, and so it's quite hard to keep stable. But I do very, very gradually approach here, taking my time, making sure to adjust, making sure to trim as I go to make it as smooth as possible. I do come in a little bit further forward than I mean to. I'm pretty sure I do run over one of the landing crew, but hey ho, do make it down, so I'll take that as a win.
Damn, Khalid. Why take the risk? Don't let Saeed do it. You won't be able to land the helicopter. Take it easy, Salah. It was just hard, but doable, as you can see.
3-2, you're clear for takeoff. Coordinates to a stern procedure. Winds 340 at 16, gusting 25.
Texaco 1-1, on station at Bolt.
Saber 3-2, take off.
So then just have to take off again, stern procedure, so I have to keep pointing in the direction the boat is moving in. I just essentially reverse here on the pad at first to move away from the tower that I'm worried the blades are just about to hit, and then just pick up carefully as I can, again a bit hard with the wind, but then just get clear of the ship, take off, and we proceed with our patrol.
Oh hell, don't tell me that we are going to fight in this weather. 3-2, ready to receive the coordinates.
So here we get a call that there is something we need to head towards, and we get given the coordinates, plug those in, and then get a briefing. Unfortunately, the briefing, just like about every other voice line in this particular mission, is completely overwritten by Texaco announcing its various positions. And so, just for those of you who can't see the text in the top corner, or for those of you who are just listening along, The briefing for this one is that there is a large oil tanker, the Seawise Giant, that is under attack by 7 speedboats, and there is also a Combatant 2 class guided missile boat in the area. We're ordered in to engage the speedboats because they are known to be hostile, and not to fire on the Combatant 2 unless it is shown to be hostile by it opening fire. So that's what we do, head over and try and engage that lot and save the Seawise Giant. And while we're still on the way, the Combatant 2 class missile boat does open fire on the tanker, and so we are cleared hostile to engage absolutely everything here other than the Seawise Giant, and which is currently just being defended by a private military company who are currently on the deck fighting off these speedboats. So we're doing our best to race against the wind here, get in range and engage when we can.
I see small boats, ready to proceed with the target. Proceed with the combatant first.
I do get prompted as to whether or not I want to send my wingman in to engage, and I definitely do. There's a lot of targets here, and this is rather a large boat that we're engaging, so I give him the go-ahead. Meanwhile, we lock up the combatant and start heading towards it, wanting to get a little closer so that we're actually within hellfire range.
In range, ready to launch. Roger, engaging.
And after a while of flying into the headwind, we do finally get in range, and so I give the order and we fire off our first hellfire on this large boat. It does take a little bit to come in and hit home just because of the range we're firing at, but eventually it does come in and we get a nice direct hit, but that is not enough to take out the ship, so quickly tell my wingman to, or my CPG to fire another round. He says yes, but then doesn't, and so I have to tell him again, but he does finally fire off another one. So again, it's just a case of getting in closer. Now, unfortunately, the ship now does turn its attention towards me and begin firing. It has rather high caliber rounds, so they are easy enough to dodge, but they seem like they're going to hurt a lot if they do come around and hit me. It's just a case of continuing to fire here, do whip off another one there, and then decide that this is getting a little too close, I want some more room to be able to dodge, so turn away. But I've done a fair amount to it. As I turn away there, you can see the small boats are engaging the Seawise Giant. I do take a hit. It does sound very loud and threatening, but it doesn't seem to have actually done anything. It seemed only a little bit of cosmetic damage there. No systems are interrupted. Tail still seems to be functioning, and so just put a little bit of distance between myself and the hostile. Hostile is at this point burning rather a lot, which is rather gratifying to see, so the hellfires are definitely hurting it. Just it's going to take more than 2 hellfires to finish this thing. Once I'm a little bit happy with the distance, I then do turn back in towards the target.
Rotor RPM low.
Rather baking the rotor during that, but managed to get the nose around, fire off another one. Just moving to the side here, keeping an eye out for any fire. Get another nice hit there. Immediately follow up with another. Do notice at this point that the ship has stopped firing on me, so I believe it's sufficiently damaged that its gun is no longer working. Get another decent hit there. Decide to pull off just so I'm not too close. But then my CPG confirms that that ship is sinking, so that is one job done. Now it's just the small boats to deal with. Unfortunately, there are quite a few. We're told that there are 7 in this area. And you can see them here quite happily engaging just about everything. Bullets flying across the area. Try and get my CPG to target something. Targets a speedboat. decide to go over to the gun, since I want to save my Maverick rounds, my Hellfire rounds, just in case something else crops up. Very quickly take down one boat,
Engaging.
try and get him to engage the other, but he's not too happy with the angle. Flown over it. At this point realise I'm kind of in the middle of all of these boats. They do just have small arms, but a lucky bullet could be quite risky, so I'm a little bit nervous. Do consider switching over to the pilot-controlled gun, but these are moving quite quickly, so try and give George another shot here. Unfortunately, again, not quite within the firing parameters here,
And slaving. Deslaving.
so decide to instead start targeting these boats that are a little further away. Might be a little easier to get a better shot off. Do get missile warnings, but I'm pretty sure that is my wingman coming in here.
Slaving.
Finally there,
Deslaving.
CPG gets happy enough with a shot,
Target in sight.
whips one off, really quick kill there. Again, opens up on the next one. One round from the 30 mils is enough to sink these. These are just tiny little speedboats. At this point I'm coming in much better angle than I was before,
Target
and
destroyed.
so he's just quite happily just knocking these out. Do then overfly all of them, so have to come back around. I'm trying to keep my speed up at this point, mostly so that
Deslaved.
I'm a little bit of a harder target. The combatant, incidentally, is flagged as a friendly. I think that's just how the mission designer has handled the weapons on it, stopping functioning after a while.
I'm deslaved.
So get eyes on
Acquired.
this boat here, decide to engage it.
Engaging.
Whoop, it disappears,
Small boats are destroyed.
and there it despawns the other boats.
Bullseye.
Decides that I've done enough damage, and the other boats literally just despawn at that point.
Alpha 1, Saber 3-2. Requesting RTB, bingo fuel.
Texaco 1-1 on station at Ball 27842 140.
Once again then we get a barely audible briefing that we are to RTB at low level as fast as we can because enemy MiGs have been scrambled towards us, and so it's just a case of heading back at this point as fast as we can, which I'm quite happy to do. A little bit more story on the way back, again presented through inaudible voice logs, but basically the Mirages that were sent to defend us did get shot down by the enemy MiGs. Their pilots did bail. A U-860 was scrambled to perform Caesar, but we were just to continue to return to our ship, so that's exactly what we do, and do settle it down. So I'm glad we did have an interesting one at least. I was really worried when I saw the mission title again, but did have a missile being launched as its splash screen, so I was hopeful. And yeah, so good fun actually having some combat in this again. And the landing was really interesting, both the final landing there at the end and the one on the smaller ship certainly were a lot more of a challenge, a lot more interesting than the previous couple of missions. So yeah, definitely looking up. Let's hope it sticks with this and doesn't go back to another do-nothing mission. We will just have to see. Until next time, remember to be kind to yourselves and everyone else. Cheers.